The fella say. All right, we're live. We're live. Let's go. Notifications out there. I know that I'm live. Since I scheduled this stream 30 minutes ago. Let's see what we got going. All right, sounds good. Looks good. Let's see. What up, Grateful Dog? Yeah, I'm about to get into it. A good time. I was at Emerald City Comic Con all 4 days, so it's a good time. Yeah. See if I get some background music real quick. Going ever so faintly in the background. All right. What up? What up? What up? All right. So first, I'll show what I brought to the con to get signed and who I met. So I met a couple different people. Didn't meet everyone I wanted to meet, but I met a couple different people. I guess I'll start with the first guy I met, which was Jeph Loeb, and I only got him to sign 2 comics. It's $40 per signature, but I got him to sign, the first issue of Hush, the first Hush, and I got him to sign the issue 0 of The Last Halloween, which this was the last book he did with Tim Sale before he passed. So I got that signed, and I met him. He was cool. I didn't know how he was going to be at first, because the guy in front of me, because Jeph Loeb I thought would have a big line, legend of the comic industry, has done a bunch of different stuff. I thought he'd have a big line, but there's only one guy in front of me, and when I met him, the guy in front of me was talking. The dude was just Jeph. Nothing. The guy wasn't saying anything, and Jeph Loeb was like housing peanut M&Ms while signing the books. I was like, oh, is Jeph Loeb one of those guys that's just like really cold and doesn't say anything? But no, then when I went up there, I started talking to him. I was like, I liked the addition of Robin and Dark Victory, and I liked how what he did with Robin in The Last Halloween. And he told me that he was like, oh, funny thing about that, he's like, Tim Sale did not want me to include Robin in Dark Victory. Tim didn't want to draw children. And also he said when he finally did convince him that using Robin would be a good idea, he said Robin at first was a different age every issue. He's like, one age he'd look 7, the next he would look 11 years old. It's like, because Tim Sale doesn't have any kids, so he has like no reference point. And so Jeph Loeb told him, he's like, just River Phoenix and Stand By Me, that's what he should look like. I went to the DC panel. They did a DC What's Next panel, and Jeph Loeb talked about Hush 2, and he's been done with Hush 2 for a while now. It's all Jim Lee. He was being very like, oh, Jim's a busy guy. He's got a lot going on. He's, publisher of DC, he told a story about how with the Superman movie coming out, there was like a milk bone box that Jim Lee took 3 days to draw. That was part of marketing for that, and that was also part because he said that when they started talking about doing Hush 2, he asked Jim if he'd be able to draw it, when he'd be able to draw it. Jim was like, oh, I'll do it on the weekends. But then he also said Jim Lee has 9 children, and he said every weekend there's either a wedding or a graduation or something or the other. And so Jim has no time on the weekends to draw. So yeah, it's not Jeph Loeb's fault that Hush 2 has been taking so long. But yeah, we're going to be getting the next issue of Hush 2 soon, and then next year we'll get the next 6 issues of Hush 2, and those definitely won't be delayed. Those will be coming out on time. Yeah, so that'll be great. But he was a cool guy. I liked meeting him, and they announced at the DC What's Next panel that he's going to be writing Batman Wonder Woman. Some people on Twitter got very upset about that because he said that he doesn't know how to write Wonder Woman, but he has the dude that helped like write the Wonder Woman movie or something that he consulted with when he was writing Wonder Woman. But people are all mad about, why don't you get someone who can write Wonder Woman? Why don't you get a woman to write Wonder Woman? It's like, well, it's Jeph Loeb. Let's see if he can figure it out. Because when he was writing Superman Batman, that was one of my favorite comics. I love what he did there with Superman Batman Public Enemies, and then the Supergirl arc, and then the going into the like Earth 3 and stuff. He did a lot of cool stuff. So I liked what he did there. We'll see if he still got it for that. Who knows? Because Hush 2 sucks, but the last Halloween was good. So Jeph Loeb can still write good comics, but we'll see how it is. But it's got Jim Chung on it, and I really like his art. So we'll see how it goes. Anyways, I also met Rod Reese, who I had met before. I got him to sign because they Kyle Higgins and Rod Reese did Cal forever ago, and I got him to sign my 2 trades of that like before when I met him. But that book had 2 arcs and then ended, and they never did anything again. And then recently, like over this past year, they did these 3 issues, and they got 1 more issue coming out. So I got him to sign that and talk to him about that, and he was really cool. He's a Brazilian guy, so English isn't his first language, but he's very nice, and he's really cool. And I asked him about like if he plans on doing anything other stuff in the Massive Verse with Kyle Higgins, and he said yeah, and he's talked about how he's going to be doing some Radiant Black stuff potentially, and see where Cal goes. And then I also got him to sign issue 5 Winter Soldier, because when I first met him, the first 4 issues of the Winter Soldier were out, and I got him to sign those, but issue 5 wasn't out. Now he came back, it's like, oh, I got him to sign the 5th issue. And he also gave me a little sketch card of like Sandman, which was cool because these were very expensive at his booth, but he just gave me it for free. So that was nice. I was kind of disappointed in the last Halloween. I liked the last Halloween. I thought the last Halloween was good. It's not as good as the Long Halloween or Dark Victory, but I thought it was pretty good. And I love the bit where Robin, when Batman's, hospitalized, Robin goes and beats up Catwoman and drags her to the Batcave to cheer up Batman. I loved that bit. I thought it was good. Again, it's not as good as Long Halloween or Dark Victory, but I didn't expect it to be. But I thought it was pretty good and it was fun. I liked it. I also met Jason Aaron, and I got him to sign. He was the last creator I met. I got him to. He had the biggest line. I got him to sign some Absolute Superman, Batman Off-World, obviously the first issue of Absolute Superman, and then some Star Wars comics, which he didn't really. He was very nice. Jason Aaron was very nice, but he didn't like give me any stories or like say much. Like it was just like when I was telling about like comics I write and stuff, what comics he wrote that I liked and everything. He's just like, oh, thank you, and stuff. Like he's very nice, very cordial. Just didn't say much. The only thing he really said was that when I got him to sign this, and this thing's falling apart. He was like, oh, that was he's like, that was one of my favorite issues that I wrote. I really liked what I was doing with Open. I was like, cool. But yeah, he was very nice. Just nothing really interesting said. Yeah, the Robin stuff's definitely the best stuff. Now let's get into the comics that I bought, because I bought a lot of comics at this convention, because that's basically the whole reason I go to these conventions. So we'll start off with the trades and hardcovers, which I didn't get much of because there's not much at the conventions. It's like there used to be a booth that have a good amount, and they were a really good price, and they didn't go last year, and they weren't here this year. So this year there's only really one booth with trades, and they're Phantom Zone Comics. They're a comic shop. It's actually like in the mall. So I actually go to that comic shop fairly often, and they have a booth all the time. Yeah, the art wasn't great in his Star Wars. I really enjoyed his I don't think anyone has done the main Star Wars book as good as Jason Aaron has since, 2015 when Marvel took it over. When Disney Marvel took it over, I don't think anyone's done as good on the main Star Wars title since. Still, to me, Kieran Gillen's Vader's my favorite of all that stuff, though. But as far as the main Star Wars title, I don't think like Charles Soule and the current book I read the first like 2 issues of the current book because it's got my goat in it, but it's not very good. Anyways, I got Grommets because I'm a big Rick Remender fan, and they had this for $15. I was like, I'll pick up Grommets. Daredevil Cold Day in Hell. I have all the issues, but they had this for 25% off. So I was like, you know what? I would not mind having that hardcover on my shelf because I loved it. I mentioned it in my Best Comics of the Year video because it's really good. So I was like, I'll get that hardcover for 25% off. And then this I got because I met him at Dallas Fan Expo earlier this year, and he was there, and I met him again. He gave me this, and so that was very nice of him. Mike Barron's on this, who, Mike Barron wrote some of the best Punisher, so I'm excited to read that. That was cool. It got canceled. No surprise, because it's not very good, and Marvel cancels everything. But I read like 2 issues of it, and it was bad. All right, now let's get into some of the back issues I got, because I got a lot. So I got, the first issue of West Coast Avengers, because that was there, and this was part of a booth that had 50% off a sticker price. So I was like, all right, I'll get that. I like Hawkeye a lot. West Coast Avengers, I love this cover. It's a classic cover. So I picked that up. This was the only G.I. Joe I got, which was, Meet Firefly. Got that, love that. they saw there was some. I'm missing one issue of this now, but I saw there was an Iron Fist Wolverine series, so I was like, oh, I'll get that. I'll check that out. It was like $2 or $3 a pop. So I was like, I'll get some of that. Black Knight issue 1, because this has come down, because this went way up when Eternals came out, because everyone thought that, oh, Black Knight's gonna be a thing now, and then when nothing came of that, the price went way down. So I got this for like $10. So I was like, yeah, I'll read some Black Knight, and I saw that there. Got Jack of Hearts because I just finished. I got the omnibus for Jeph Johns' Avengers run. I don't know if any of you guys have read it, but Jack of Hearts is in that. I don't think I'd ever read anything with Jack of Hearts in that. Jack of Hearts other than that, but I loved what he did with Jack of Hearts. That was one of my favorite characters in that. I love this dynamic with Ant-Man. I thought he was a very interesting character, and so I saw some back issues for Jack of Hearts. I was like, I will check that out, because I really liked what Jeph Johns did with Jack of Hearts. But this could also be one of those situations where it's like, Jeph Johns has a good handle on the character and did something cool, but otherwise he sucks. That could be the situation. I don't know. I've never read anything else with Jack of Hearts, but I love what Jeph Johns did with him, so that's why I got that. And I got the first 11 issues of John Carter, Warlord of Mars, because I looked at reading into John Carter before. I looked like on eBay for like an omnibus or collection or something, and it's very expensive, like very expensive. But all these were like 50% off sticker price. So I was like, you know what, I'll get into some John Carter. So I got 11 issues of John Carter. I'm gonna check that out. So yeah, some cool John Carter. I've never read any John Carter. I've seen the movie like forever ago. I remember the movie being okay. But I always found the concept of John Carter interesting. You know, swashbuckler in space. So I was like, I'll check it out. So got some John Carter. Got some random Punisher, just trying to like sort of fill some gaps I have in Punisher. I'm always like, anytime I'm at a con, I basically always pick up some Punisher. So yeah, I got some, like some of these are like follow-ups to other issues that I already have. And then I also got a run that I actually am trying to collect that I just hardly ever see much at cons, is Chuck Dixon's Punisher War Journal. He had a run on that. And I have a few other issues of that, but I got several here. It's like, oh, they actually had some. They had a handful here. So I got some more Punisher. Now let's get into the DC stuff, because that was the Marvel stuff. Jonah Hex is what I mainly go to the conventions for, because over like the past decade, I've just been collecting Jonah Hex, just like here and there. I'll pick up a back issue. For the John Carter novels was interesting. No clue about the comics though. Yeah, I don't know like how much these comics are like adapting any of the books, or if they're really going their own way. I have no idea. I was just always interested in John Carter because the concept looked cool. So I have no idea about these, but I got the first 11 issues, so I'll find out. But yeah, I've been Jonah Hex's first solo series in the 70s. I've like over the past decade, I would just occasionally get a back issue here or there because I really like Jonah Hex and just, you know, hear that. And then like I suddenly started having a lot, and I was like, oh, I could realistically get this entire run. So over the past like 2 years, I've been really like hunting down Jonah Hex back issues, trying to get all of them. And but this is part of All-Star Western though. This isn't part of Jonah Hex, but they had it there. I was like, oh, I love this cover because I have the collection that this is in. I have the hardcover collection that has this issue, so I've already read it. But I love this cover. This is one of my favorites, and it's his first ever cover appearance and his second appearance. And so I was like, I gotta get that. So yeah, they had it for 50% off. So it was like 50 something bucks. So I was like, I'll snatch that up. It's such a sick cover. And then Jonah Hex #1, which is one of the issues I was missing from my run. Again, also part of that 50% off book. So I was like, oh, I'll get that. That's one of the issues I'm missing. And then this, which it's a Jonah Hex comic. Chill out. But Death Warrant, Confederate States of America, Jonah Hex. Yeah, this is the first appearance of the Grey Ghost, I believe. So I was missing this issue, so I got that for $10. And that was it for the Jonah Hex that I was looking for. Then I got 4 of the 5 issues for one of the Jonah Hex Vertigo storylines, because I have all of Toon Gun Mojo, which is the other Vertigo Jonah Hex story, but this one, Riders of the Worm and such, I don't have all of them. So they had 4 of the 5 issues there. So it's like, all right, yoink, get that. I also got some Vigilante. They had Vigilante issue 1. I love that cover. Such a great cover. So I got that, and I picked up various other issues of Vigilante because when they didn't have much Jonah Hex, I was like, I gotta find something else because Jonah Hex is mainly when I'm hunting. So I was like, you know what? I'll try to get some Vigilante this convention. So I got some Vigilante here and there. So I've always been a fan of Vigilante because I like what Marv Wolfman did with them. All the various versions too. I like the original Vigilante. I like the female Vigilante that was in the Deathstroke 90 series. I like the Vigilante that showed up in Marv Wolfman's Nightwing run. I really like the way he used them there. Steel issue 0. Love Louis Simonson's Steel. So I saw issue 0. I had to pick that up. Got some Chuck Dixon Green Arrow a little bit with some Connor stuff in here. Yeah, got a couple of that. I love, one of the things I also like getting a lot of these conventions, I love old war comics. I think they have the coolest covers. Like, old war comics have the coolest covers. Like, got Weird War. I already have some Unknown Soldier, but I love this cover, so I picked up some the Mystery Mass of Weird War Tales and the Unknown Soldier. And then this one book, this one booth had a bunch of had just a couple long boxes of dollar comics, and they had a bunch of Judd Winick's Outsiders, which I have some issues of, but they have there. I was like, oh, those are just $1 a piece, so I picked up a bunch of Judd Winick's Outsiders. So I got most of that now. And yeah, that was it. Now, something I got outside of the con because it came out like a couple weeks ago or like a month ago, but now it's not retail price of $63. Was I got the Superman New Krypton Omnibus, which I have like the trades for this and the issues, but I'm happy they finally had an Omni out. It was like, again, the retail price was, how much is the retail price? $125, and it was $63 on Amazon. So it's like, ooh, I'm snatching that up. But yeah, that was basically all I got at the con. I went to 2 different panels. I went to the Chris Claremont panel, and I went to the Future of DC panel. The Chris Claremont panel was fun. He's still sharp as ever. Like, he has not missed a beat. He's great. Like, he doesn't seem like his mind is aged at all. He was cool, and he listened to the stories he told about back in like the Marvel days and talking about Krakoa and how much he hated Krakoa when they introduced it in the 70s, and how he was like assistant editor to Len Wein at the time, and how he was the one that came up with the idea of how to get rid of Krakoa, and he was like, I'm glad we'll never see Krakoa again because that was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard of. It's like, I'm glad that, you know, people in Marvel at least know how dumb, well, some people do know how dumb Krakoa was. Because, man, Hickman bringing back Krakoa, so stupid. I hate Krakoa so much. It was used so stupidly. And then him talking about how he thought after him and Jim Lee, you know, made the best-selling comic ever with X-Men #1, he'd have job security and wouldn't be fired. Because someone asked him, they're like, oh, if you went back and you could do anything, like, on your career, what would you do? He's like, I don't know if I have any regrets or anything I would do, but he's like, not get fired is probably one of the things I do. So, when they first opened up the fan questions, though, there was a very autistic man towards the front that instantly put his hands up, and he asked him, like, what is your favorite X-Men movie? And the moderator very quickly was like, we're not taking any questions about movies, only comics. And the guy put his hand back up, was like, I have a comic question. He's like, okay. The guy's like, who's your favorite actor in the X-Men movie? And they're like, all right, we're moving on to someone else. So that's pretty funny. There's always it's conventions, so you always get people like that. But that was very funny. I don't talk about that. And yeah, I'm trying to think if Claremont said anything else interesting. Oh, it was him talking about how it's weird to see characters you created go into the hands of other people, morph into other things. He's like, not that he's talking about. He's like, not that I'm against it, because he's like, Lin Win had some very different ideas for Wolverine than I did, and I changed Wolverine a lot. And so it was interesting to hear his perspective on that. And him talking about when Wolverine came out, and he's like, what does Wolverine do? He heals. He's like, who does he heal? Himself. It's like, all right, he's got claws. Okay, where do the claws come from? His gloves. So anyone can put on the gloves and have the claws. He's like, we should probably change that. So it's cool hearing those stories. And then the DC What's Next panel was, we didn't really get a whole lot. Jeph Loeb was the most interesting part of that, to be honest. He gave a very heartfelt thing to the fans, talking about how much he appreciated everyone, that he's able to still write comics, how much he loves comics and stuff. He gave a really, really heartfelt sort of speech, which was really nice. They had one guy, man, what was it called? What's his name? He's writing one of the Vertigo titles, and he was insufferable. What is his name? Kyle Starks. I don't know if I've ever read anything from Kyle Starks before. I don't think I have, but he was insufferable on the panel. All he was doing was trying to make jokes and be funny, and he was so annoying, but he thinks he's the funniest person ever. You see that White House UFC card? Yeah, it was incredibly disappointing. Terrible. What a, like, for just a normal card, it would be okay. But for the White House card, how much they'd hyped it up and be like, it's going to be 7 title fights. Instead, I get to watch Gaethje, one of the best American fighters, get starched by Ilya on the White House. That's great. What a great way to build up that card. When the UFC puts like a fight in a card in Mexico, he wrote the cancellation special was good. Okay, well maybe, man, his cancellation special was good, but him in person, he was the most just annoying person of all time. But anyways, with the UFC, when they put a card in like Brazil, they stack it with Brazilians, and then they put every Brazilian's a favorite because they put them in favorable matchups. Like, not completely like, you know, huge favorable matchups, but they are the favorite. They're generally better than the guys they're going against should be. And same when they do that in any other country. They do the same when they go to New Zealand, Australia, whatever. But for the U.S., it's like, hey, we're going to do this on the White House. You know what we're going to do? We're going to have a fighter that's way better fight our American fighter that he's going to kill him on the White House lawn. It's like, why are we doing that? Do Gaethje Topuria on a different card, dude. I don't want to watch one of our best American fighters at the end of his career get knocked out cold on the White House lawn. What are we doing? And then all the other fights on there. Like, why is Bo Nickel on there? Sean O'Malley, I don't care. Cyril Gane should not be getting another title fight. Why does he constantly get title fights? I don't get it. What's up, Brady? I don't get what they're doing with this card. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. But anyways, yeah, Kyle Starks was incredibly annoying. I didn't really the cancellations, but I need to pull him up on League of Comic Geeks and see what he's written. Let's see. Other than Loeb cancellation special, because he was pitching his Vertigo book. And it was really bad. Well, he was really bad, I should say. Let's see, what has he written? Doesn't look like he's written some Secret Wars stuff. Some Creep Show. He did the cancellation special. Yeah, I think cancellation special is the only thing I've read of his. I like the cancellation special, but man, he was terrible at everything else. Thoughts on Isaiah Likely? I mean, we lost Daniel Bellinger, so I'm happy we got his replacement. I'm not like stoked or anything. I'm more happy that we got Tremaine Edmonds, so we got a middle linebacker now. I'm happy about that because Bobby Okereke was terrible, and I'm glad we released him. And so I'm glad. I'm hoping we retain Micah McFadden, though. I hope we keep him because I think Micah and Tremaine could be a good duo, assuming Micah can stay healthy. We shall see. Sad that we weren't able to retain Cordell Flott, though. He went to the Titans. The Titans took like everyone. I knew we weren't gonna keep Wandale, which I'm fine for that because Wandale got paid a ton, and I don't think he's worth that. I like Wandale, don't think he's worth that. But Flott going to the Titans sucks because Flott is actually good, and we need corners. He's like our only good corner. Well, no, we have the what's his name, dude we got from the Saints last year. So. But it would be nice to have 2 good corners. But we'll see how it goes. But Jason Aaron didn't really say much at the panel. He talked a little bit about Absolute Superman. He's probably the quietest at the panel, just talking about because they had him talk about like the current issue that already came out. And it's like, I want to talk more about the future. He talked a little bit about King Shazam and how it's like this is Teth Adam, but he's different. He's not the Black Adam you know. And he didn't really give any details at all. Who else was there? I'm trying to think who else was on the panel. Who else was on the panel? I'm trying to remember. Oh, Denise Cowan was there. He was cool. You know, the guy that did the question run with Denny O'Neil because he's going on Nightwing. He was really cool. He was entertaining. AJ Brown isn't a Patriot. I don't think that really matters, dude. Seeing it would be very funny to see AJ Brown on the Patriots, how much of a diva he is dealing with Drake May fumbling 6 times a game. That would be hilarious. But Dennis Cowan was good. He, again, didn't really say much. But the biggest thing I think we really got was Jeph Loeb talking about Wonder Woman and Batman. That new title. I think that was it. Oh, we re-signed Isaiah Hodgins. Whoa, what a big signing. That looks like it's hilarious though that Mike Evans went to the Bucks. I mean, went from the Bucks to the Niners because he's like he was just constantly getting injured, and now he's going to the most injury prone team. Will Campbell's fault. I don't know about that one, dude. Gotta protect the ball. I don't know about that. I don't know about that one, dude. Yeah, it was a fun 4 days at Emerald City Comic Con. I just went around. This was probably the best I've paced myself, because generally the problem is when I go 4 days, it's so hard not to just see everything in one day and then just be like, all right, now the next 3 days you're just zombified walking around. I did a pretty good job of just seeing a little bit each day, so I had something to look forward to the next day. And I was disappointed in the lack of Jonah Hex, though. That was very sad. Like, hardly any booths had any Jonah Hex, and like the few issues they had were issues I already own. It's like, damn it, because that's the whole point of going there. I don't know, dude. This might have. What if this was your Lions season, dude? This is your one chance to get back there, and it's just done now. It's over for the Patriots. That'd be hilarious. But yeah, it was a good convention. Same basically as every year. Had a few more. I'd say probably have a few more creators I wanted to meet this year than last time. I wanted to also meet David Finch, but he was, every time I went towards his booth, he was just sketching his heart out, just locked in. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to interrupt the man. I'm going to leave him alone. Let him do his thing. Play Star Wars Battlefront 2015. No one plays that game on PC, unfortunately. I would, because that game is fun, but no one plays that game on PC, and getting my friends together to play a private match is impossible. Everyone's on different time zones and everyone's busy, so that's never gonna happen. It's unfortunate. Battlefront 2015 is a very fun game, but unfortunately, all the PC player base is on Battlefront 2. No one plays Battlefront 2015. The few people that do play, they only play the small game modes. That's it. It's unfortunate. And again, there's like no one playing. It's sad, because I'd love to run on some Walker Assault. That'd be fun. You are in a very easy division, that is true. But now the Dolphins, though. The Dolphins got Malik Willis. Changes everything. The GOAT. That'd be very funny if Malik Willis just... We resigned to remain Illuminor. Let's go. Let's go. Got him for 3 years. Let's go. Thank God we didn't let him go. Oh my goodness. That was one that I was worried about. If we lost Remain Illuminor, I was going to be worried. It's going to be tough. But yeah, did we get like any comic news this week? Let's see. Other than what I already covered with... Wilson might have... I'm trying to think what... also, G. Will Wilson was at the DC Next panel. Just terrible. It's just her being like, yeah, Poison Ivy's mayor now. And that changes things. And also, in the year we're in with 2026, sometimes you agree with Ivy now, and you're like, yeah, she's doing the right thing. I was like, why is G. Will Wilson here, dude? Who gives a shit about this Poison Ivy book written by her? Care less. But I do think the best part of that panel, honestly, was Jeph Loeb. Like because they had a part where they did the whole like, how do you write superheroes in the current climate 2026 with every crazy thing going on in the world? How do you write comics and blah blah? And how does this affect you? And Jeph Loeb gave a really nice like sincere, heartfelt answer where he talked about how he tries to create escapism with comics, and he's very like he went on for a while, and he was like very happy to be able to write comics and that he's able to still do it, that he loves it, and talking about how the key to comics is like really getting people into what's next. Talk about how you really need to be able to sell comics, because he's talking about how when he got into it, he was reading Namor as a kid, and at the end there was like a check out Iron Man 181 or whatever, and he was like, what's Iron Man? What's an Iron Man? I gotta read that. And he's like, it's hard to do that now and trying to do that. So that was interesting. Also, I forgot, we got Tony Fleeks, the guy that's writing Deathstroke. I also went up and talked to him at his booth. I've never read anything of his. He wrote Strays, which people say is really good. But I went up and talked to him, and I was like, have you read Marv Wolfman's Deathstroke? I'm excited to see what you're going to do. But he's like, yeah, I went back and I read every single Deathstroke run. And I'm excited to go. We're going to really explore him and see what's going on. I was like, all right, cool. And then I just walked off. And then he was at the panel, and he's talking about it. And the thing that worries me is like, basically all he's talking about is how horrible of a person Slade Wilson is. It's like, yeah, obviously Slade's not a great guy. But if you read the Marv Wolfman Deathstroke run, like, it's not black and white. Like, the way he was talking about it seemed very black and white with Slade. Like, it's very much just he's a terrible, horrible person. That's it. And that's kind of how a lot of writers have viewed Slade. And I don't think that's correct. Because, again, if you read the Marv Wolfman Deathstroke run where you get into his mind, you see it's very complicated. He's a very complex character. It's very interesting. Even not even just that run, but what Marv Wolfman did with him in New Teen Titans. There's a lot going on there. Like, he was a failure of a husband. He's a failure of a father. And now he's just completely thrown himself into his work. But then also with his work, he's not just something that a lot of writers get wrong. It's like he just does everything for money. But there's multiple times in Marv Wolfman's run where he gets offered a boatload of money and he says no because of his own like moral compass or his own reasoning, his own code of ethics. And so many people just don't see it like that. They're like, no, if you offer enough money, Deathstroke will go and do whatever it is. And so him just constantly talking at the panel, I'm hoping that he's just like saying that just to say it. Like, and we explore him more in the books and we actually get an interesting Slade. And actually something of substance, not like what Christopher Priest said, what Christopher Priest did with his solo series, which sucked ass. I don't know why so many people like that. What's up, Futuristic? But so many people love Christopher Priest Deathstroke, and it's so bad. Like, it's not any worse than any other of the solo Deathstroke series that are bad. It's just, it belongs with them. Like, I don't get why people hold that one to higher esteem. It's still really bad. Christopher Priest had a horrible, and didn't have a good handle on the character at all, and the Icon suit is one of the dumbest things ever, and I hated what he did with the family. But I'm hoping the Deathstroke solo series is good. We still haven't had the Jonah Hex creative team announced, which I want that announced. I need that announced because that is one of the solo series coming out of this part 2 of All In. And so I need to know who's going to be writing, who's going to be drawing Jonah Hex. Hopefully, the dream is Chris Condon right now, because obviously I want Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray back, but I don't think DC ever will do that because DC doesn't hire. They don't hire Jimmy Palmiotti for anything for some reason. I don't know why. They haven't given him work in a while. I would him and Justin Gray back on Jonah Hex would be my number 1, but my number 2 would be Chris Condon. I like pretty much everything he's done. He's got experience writing westerns with Enfield Gang Massacre and That Texas Blood. I think he'd be good. Priest in general is writing is pretentious. I would agree with that with a lot of his like more modern stuff. I agree. I think he does get kind of pretentious. Some of his older stuff is pretty good, but also, what do you expect from a guy that changed his name to Christopher Priest? But yeah, some of his older stuff has been good, but I will say that, yeah, his newer stuff can get pretty pretentious. What's worse for you, Bendis Superman or Eagles Super Bowl? I mean, I would say Bendis Superman because it just kept going. Like Eagles Super Bowl. Also, we still got more Super Bowls than them, so it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. George R. R. Martin is still writing the ones of Adventure. Yeah, I'm aligned with the theory that he doesn't want to deal with any backlash when he publishes the books with anyone being mad about any type of like characters wrapping up in ways they don't like or something. And I think he's already done, and he's just going to have it published when he's dead, like posthumously. I think once he's done, I think when he dies, that's when those books will get published. That's my I saw people talking about that. I'm like, I think that's the theory I'm clinging to. Did you meet Aaron at Embassy Comic Con? Talk about Jason Aaron? Because yes, I did. I met Jason Aaron there. He was nice. Didn't really say much of note, but he was very nice when I met him. But I don't know why we haven't. I don't even think we've got a date for when Jonah Hex comes out. But in next week is when we get Deathstroke. We get Deathstroke #1. That'll be crazy. I can't thank you enough for all your videos for 2015, 2017. Still posting today. I hope you, him, Spike, Dale, and James are all doing well. Thank you, Futuristic. I appreciate that. That was a fun time. That was a really good time playing those games with the boys. That was fun. Most of us still play. We just don't play Battlefront because that game's dead, sadly. But I have my Twitch linked in the description. I stream on there occasionally, and most of us still play together. So you'll see Hemps and Ian on there, and occasionally Mike. That's my only thoughts on that theory. Is there's still other stuff he could write, Duncan Egg, but he just isn't. Well, he said that he has a bunch of outlines about Duncan Egg, and he wants to write more Duncan Egg, but he can't until he finishes Winds of Winter and everything. So that's what he said. He's like, I would love. He's talking about how basically he'd have a bunch of Duncan Egg out already if he didn't have to deal with Winds of Winter and everything. So I don't know, but that's what I remember seeing something about him saying something along those lines. Yeah. Oh, you meant Aaron Sparrow? Aaron Sparrow wasn't there. He's going to MegaCon this upcoming weekend. He wasn't at Emerald. I would have met up with him if he was there, but he wasn't. I met up with HH though. I saw him. HH was cool as always. He was really fun to talk to in Dallas, and he was fun to talk to for a little bit at ECCC. He was cool. He sold so much. He's talking about how they sold because he had two different booths. He has a big one on the main like exhibitor floor, and then in Artist Alley he has a smaller booth, and he sold out completely on the smaller booth upstairs. And he sold it like almost out completely on the exhibitor floor too. That guy's an incredible salesman. But yeah, no, basically no one comes out to. None of the aficionados come out to Emerald City Comic Con. It's just me. But man, it was crazy seeing you going to MegaCon. No, that's in Florida. That's all the way across the country. So I'm not going to MegaCon. Next convention I go to is I might go to Washington SummerCon. I'm waiting to see what the guest list is because Washington SummerCon is a little bit farther from me. Toward Emerald City Comic Con's like I just ride the light rail there. It's easy. But I'll go to what's it called? I might go to Washington SummerCon if they have good guests. If there's like any creators I want to meet or not. What do you think of Lantern's trailer? It was terrible, but it's Tom King and was Damon Lindelof, and so it's what I expected. Especially with every time they promote it, they're like, "It's True Detective." It's like, yeah, the space cops that are out there fighting cosmic threats. You want to make them grounded detectives on Earth where they barely use their rings on a TV show budget. That's smart. Idiots. I don't understand what James Gunn is doing. I don't understand. I liked the Superman movie, but everything else outside of that, I have no idea what he's doing. He's stupid. And then I get the whole like because the lack of color in the suits like turning brown essentially. I get the whole like there's probably parallax involved and the whole storytelling they're going to do where it probably gets more vibrant throughout the series and John's probably going to bring it back, but I'm just not excited, especially with them having old ass Hal just so they can sideline him instantly so they can kill him or parallax him to make John the start. And then like the John Hal dynamic is really weird because Hal's so much older than him. It's not excited for Lanterns at all. I wasn't before the trailer, and I'm even less so after the trailer. Also, there were all those reports that they offered Hal Jordan to a ton of different actors, and every single one said no. Just curious, is Hemp's username Hemp's 37 because he's 37 years old? No, I don't know. I don't know why he chose 37. I don't think it was because of age or anything. Thoughts on Hal dropping F-bombs? That's how they have to let you know it's for an adult audience, dude. Can't just be on HBO. They got to tell you with F-bombs. Like, I don't really care about F-bombs, but like to specifically put it in the trailer to let you know, hey guys, this isn't that silly 2011 Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds. This is an adult one, like True Detective. We say fuck. That's what we do here. We're serious. We're actual serious people. It's like, what are... Stop getting people that have contempt for the source material. Stop that. I did see it. I saw Damon Lindelof talking about how, and everyone's defending him, be like, he's obviously joking, blah blah blah, about him talking about how they didn't put Green Lantern in the title because like the stuff's corny and all that. It's like, is he? Well, you can say he's joking all you want, but then if you actually look at the product he's putting out, does it seem like he's joking? Looks like it's actually how he feels. I never watched his Watchmen series. Did anyone in the chat watch his Watchmen series? I never watched it because the trailers and every clip I saw looked abysmal, looked terrible. The like Watchmen follow-up he did for HBO, it looked absolutely awful. You think Lanterns is going to be woke? I don't know, maybe a little bit. I mean, there's probably going to be a little bit. I don't think it's going to be like an overwhelmingly woke thing. I just think it's going to be dog shit. There's going to be some like woke stuff, but I don't know if it's going to be like, dude, but it is Damon Lindelof, Tom King, and those guys. It's funny though, because I saw some someone posted like the comic book writer political compass, where it's like all the different comic book writers, and you know, it does like the Wojak, and it has like this blah blah blah, and they put Tom King on the left, and I saw people like in the replies being mad, like, why is Tom King on the left? Blah blah. I was like, have you read a Tom King comic? He is definitely a lib. Just because he was in the CIA doesn't make him not a lib. Have you read his stuff? Like, he's obviously on the left. We're like, he's in the CIA, so he can't be. So that was very funny. But it's going to be bad. Let me run the show. Would have gotten the fridge scene in 4K. What is up? I've seen that for some reason on my timeline lately. For some reason, like, the fridging has come back up as a topic. I've seen all over. Because I've seen, like, I don't know. I saw some people saying that, like, women characters have it harder in comics because like males never get fridged. They always get like heroic sacrifice death. And then I just saw people being like, have you heard of the character known as Jason Todd? And just showing all the examples of where not only his death, but everything afterwards, where he's just treated horrifically and there's nothing heroic or like noble or anything. He's just treated terribly. Kind of like a discount version of Hard Traveling Heroes Green Lantern, but didn't on the Labs. Remember that? Yes, I know. The only thing anyone ever posts from that is you help the people with the orange skin and the blue skin, but what about the black skin? That's the only thing anyone ever posts from that, ever. Denny O'Neil's a legend. He's done some great stuff, but I mean, that people constantly posting that issue, it's like, there's a lot of stuff he's done that's better than that. Like his Batman's better, his Question's better. So it's funny whenever that's what people cling to. It's like, I hope people know that there's more to Denny O'Neil than just this panel. But I just think Lanterns are going to be bad. But I guess no one watched the Watchmen show, huh? Ironic, I suppose. Man, I remember watching the trailer and like seeing some clips and people posting and being like, this looks awful. And it's like, and also I remember like all the people that hated Doomsday Clock liked that show, which makes me think I probably would hate it because I love Doomsday Clock. I remember Speedy first started using drugs though. Yeah, that was when he first started using drugs. Yep. Such an iconic cover. Poor Roy. Roy's been through it. I like what Condon did with Roy. I don't know if any of you guys read Chris Condon's Green Arrow run, which didn't go too long because DC canceled it very fast, but it got like 2 story arcs. It was really good, and I like how he used Roy. I really enjoyed that. I'm sad we didn't get more. I'm very sad. Also, in DCKO number 5, they have that splash page that they have that splash page that's kind of the a preview of what's to come with All In, and Green Arrow's on it, and it's actual Green Arrow. It's not absolute Green Arrow. But there's been no new Green Arrow book announced. I was like, why is Green Arrow here? I was just thinking about it the other day. I was like, why is Green Arrow here? He doesn't have a solo title. Absolute Green Arrow is coming, but it looks way different than this, so I don't think this is promoting Absolute Green Arrow. It's like, why is he part of this? So that was confusing. Because if they're like, here's Teeny Howard's Green Arrow, I'm gonna be so mad. If they do that after canceling Condon's Green Arrow. I'm not a fan of any watches. You'll spend except for Doomsday Clock. Yeah. Doomsday Clock's great. I love it. I think Doomsday Clock does a good job with the Watchmen characters, and I like what it does with with Dr. Manhattan and being one of the most nihilistic characters ever, and because it's really cool because Watchmen was a deconstruction of superheroes, and then in Doomsday Clock we have those OG like DC characters, heroes, Superman, reconstructing Watchmen, like reconstructing, and like I really liked that. I love seeing that the most nihilistic character, Dr. Manhattan, getting inspired by the OG, by Superman, and sort of killing that nihilism. Like, that's awesome. I would love to meet Jeremy Adams, but he hasn't been to any of these Washington conventions, which is unfortunate because for like a minute they had, so he wasn't ever announced as a guest for Illustrated Comic-Con, but one of the panels they had like a how to write comics with Jeremy Adams. I was like, is he gonna Zoom call in or something? And then they took him off, but for some reason they had him on there, which was weird. But he hasn't been to any of these Washington conventions, which is unfortunate. I wonder, I should check Washington SummerCon. Last time I went was a couple years ago, and that was when I met Marv Wolfman and Larry Hama, which was awesome. That's so cool. Meeting Marv Wolfman was just such a, like, literally top 2 writer for me. Him and Jeph Johns are my favorite writers of all time. Jeph Johns and Marv Wolfman. Okay, it looks like not much has been announced for Washington SummerCon yet. We've got Patrick Warburton and Wayne Knight right now. There's not a whole lot. Patrick Warburton's goat, though. Do you consider Doomsday Clock as one of the greatest Superman stories? Man, I consider it maybe my favorite event. It's up there with Infinite Crisis, which, both Jeph Johns. It's been a while since I've read Crisis on Infinite Earths. I'm going to reread that when, I believe in June, I already pre-ordered it, is the Absolute Edition of Crisis on Infinite Earths come out. And I'm excited to reread that because I haven't reread it. I haven't read it in like over a decade. It's been a long time. So I'm excited to read that, but Doomsday Clock's really good. It might be my favorite event. And I'm going to also, I plan on doing a reread of Watchmen and Doomsday Clock back to back because I've never read them back to back. So I'm excited to do that. I have the Absolute Editions for both of those. I just got the Absolute Edition for Watchmen like a month ago. So that'll be fun. I love it. I love like comics I haven't read in a while and getting an Absolute Edition and rereading it because it's like you read it, in floppies or something, and then you reread it on the freaking huge IMAX, basically. It's so cool. Newman's going to Comic-Con. Yeah, Newman's going to be there. It's so funny because as a kid, I knew him as the fat guy from Space Jam. So when I first watched Seinfeld when I was a little older, I was like, it's the fat guy from Space Jam. He's in Seinfeld? But they have no comic guests announced yet. It's all like actors and voice actors. They need to be getting some comic guests. They had who'd they have last year? I can't remember. They had someone big last year. I can't remember. But hopefully they have some good comic guests. I'm seeing their pictures when they had like Dan Jurgens there. I did not go that year, which makes me sad. I'd love to meet Dan Jurgens. One of my goats. That would be fun. I need to go to Grit City this year also. Grit City is a convention out here that's purely comics. Like, it's all comics. Like, there's not really any guests or anything. It's just all like distributors, exhibitors with comics. I wanted to go last year, but I already had plans on that day because it's only one day. So I'm going to try to go this year. That'll be fun. Go to a purely comic convention since every convention is all is all just pop culture, and they just use Comic-Con because it's a name that everyone recognizes, but comics are only like 10% of the actual convention. I have Death of Superman and Absolute. I don't have John Byrne Superman Absolute. The thing with John Byrne Superman is like I want that, I would get it, but I kind of want that to go down in price because I feel like there's not a whole lot that, because it's just Man of Steel. Like that's it. So I'm like, how much else are they filling it with? Because like, you know, the Absolute editions are expensive. So it's like, man, it's paying that Absolute edition price for that small of a comic. But also Death of Superman isn't huge either. But Death of Superman lends itself to the Absolute edition so well. Especially that final issue where it's just all splash pages. But I'll probably eventually get the John Byrne, Man of Steel Absolute edition. The goal is to get all the one that I want to get. My white whale is the Black Mirror Absolute edition, the Batman Black Mirror, because it's like $300 because it's been out of print. Let's see how much it is on eBay right now. Batman Black Mirror Absolute edition. Let's see, $250. Hey, that's a little. I think the last time I checked, it was like I'm pretty sure the last time I checked, it was $300. So $250, which $16 shipping, so $266. And that is the cheapest. $266 for Batman Black Mirror Absolute Edition, which is my favorite Batman story ever. Yeah, I showed off early in the stream. I just got the new Krypton Omnibus because it's on Amazon for, I wonder if it still is. I got it literally just a few days ago. It was $63 on Amazon. Wonder if it's gone up or not. Let's see. Let's see. Superman new Krypton Omnibus. Yeah, it's still $63 on Amazon right now. So if you want the Superman new Krypton Omnibus and you haven't gotten it yet, now's the time to do it because it's $63. Because it's like retails $125. So I just got that. Same thing with the Brainiac Reborn Omnibus. I'll get it, but I'm waiting for price to go down. Like I didn't pre-order this. I waited, and I'm happy I did because I got it for way cheaper. But yeah, I think that's basically it. I'm going to be streaming Resident Evil on Twitch, which is linked in the description if anyone wants to check that out. Because I need to play more of that. Because I got the game, I played it a little bit, and then Emerald City Comic Con happened, and I was busy with a bunch of other stuff. But I will be streaming, which, again, link in the description. This is my Twitch right here, _RCGBG. I'll be playing some Resident Evil. So check that out if you want to. I'll be going live soon. Basically, be switching from this to that. That'll be fun. But yeah, thank you to everyone who showed up for the stream. It was fun talking comics for a little bit. I didn't really have much of a topic. I just want to show you guys what I got from Emerald City Comic Con. And yeah, that's basically it. Thank you, everyone. And I'll see you guys later.